Hello everybody, welcome once again to the lair. I really hope you are having a good day, I hope you're having a good time, and well, let's get started with this video. Today I wanted to talk about a movie I watched last night, a movie I haven't seen before, which is The Exorcist 3. This time around, William Peter Blatty, the author of the original Exorcist book, comes in to direct. Based on his book Legion, which is an actual sequel to the first book of The Exorcist, follows original characters from the first book and the first movie. In this case, it is the detective from the first movie and the priest, which names I really don't remember. Sorry, I am so bad at remembering names. Sadly, they got recasted, one because one of the original actors died from the first one, and I'm not really sure why the other actor didn't come back. I'm not really sure about that. It's sad, but these new actors make it their own character. They give it their own identity, so it's kind of like, you kind of just go with it. So in this new movie, we follow the detective from the previous movie making an investigation on some murders that have been happening through, the following days. He starts to see that these murders have like the same pattern, that the murderer has been like killing them in a certain way, and it all leads to a murderer called the Gemini Killer. So for him it doesn't make sense because it's like, oh, the Gemini Killer died like years ago, so there's no way. So all of his data leads to this guy, which is Patient X, which we discover is actually Father Karras from The Exorcist 1. And I believe this is the only actor that actually does come back. The same actor who played Father Karras in the first movie is the actor in this movie, and that is so cool. So we discover that Father Karras is now possessed by the Gemini Killer. That when Father Karras was about to die in the first movie, this entity or spirit went into his body. It's pretty interesting, so they're not like rehashing the whole Exorcist movie. They do mention, there are mentions of the first movie, going back to Reagan's exorcism and such. But they don't redo the whole thing, this movie is like its own thing but within the world. That's how you're supposed to make sequels. Like for example, The Exorcist really didn't need a sequel because it's like a one-shot story. It's over because there isn't really anything else to like explore or something. Exorcist 3, it expands, but with other characters. You get the opportunity to like go with these other characters, other places, investigating stuff. And I'm not sure if to say if this one is better than The Exorcist 1. This one actually feels like a documentary because you don't really actually hear music or score or anything. It's just, the father and the priest going into the room, getting out of the room, trying to plan what they're gonna do. And it makes it feel like that. It makes it feel real. It makes it feel like you're watching like found footage or something. And that's what I actually like about the first one. And this third one, I loved it because it feels like a detective movie and still having that, that paranormal element. And it's always there, and the ones I remember, and I'm pretty sure I'm never gonna forget, is the woman crawling up the ceiling like a spider. That was just so freaking terrifying. And probably, or according to a lot of people, one of the biggest jump scares or one of the best jump scares in a movie. And at first I really didn't agree because it's just a nurse wandering around the room in the hallways checking if everything is okay. And so you're like, okay, this nurse is just busy, And she goes inside a room and nothing's there, and when she gets out, all of a sudden someone follows her with a giant pair of scissors. what I love that this movie does is that it really crawls under your skin. Probably didn't scare me, you know, at the time I was watching it. But when I was going to sleep, I kept remembering this scene over and over. Like, it started to really scare me, the fact that this nurse went into a room, she found nothing, she closed it, and she walked away from it, and all of a sudden someone comes out. And that is, in fact, it's actually giving me the creeps right now, but I think that is like the psychological terror that I actually love of these movies. And I think that is when you know that a movie accomplished what it wanted to do. Because I'm not gonna lie, every time I woke up in the middle of the night, this scene started to play in my head and I was like, please go to sleep, please go to sleep. And I know the movie isn't like as faithful as the book Legion, because from what I researched, the studio made them like change a lot of stuff, such as the ending. But in my opinion, I really loved the ending, like that final like kind of exorcism they did. I felt it pretty powerful, you know, a pretty powerful scene, and sort of, you know, sad, because this is kind of like the last time we actually see Father Karras in his entirety. Like, it was actually him screaming for, you know, for mercy to get killed. And on the other hand, I haven't seen the complete director's cut, but I did see the ending. And although I know it's a lot more faithful to the book, that the detective just goes in and kills him, I still think that the theatrical version still gives it a more impactful third act. But you know, I think this is one of the rare times that there's actually a good sequel to a very good movie. This one, you know, it was just so awesome. I'm glad I skipped Exorcist 2 because I saw clips of that movie, and no, I mean, just, it's, I'm glad I haven't watched the whole thing. You know, it shows me that there are good Exorcist sequels, because like, the last disappointment I had with these movies was The Exorcist Believer. And, you know, I gotta say, that movie was just so disappointing. I was excited when it came out, but oh my lord, I am so glad that they didn't continue with those movies. So I really, really recommend you to watch The Exorcist 3 if you haven't watched it. If you've only seen the first one and you still want more of it, I really encourage you to watch this third one, because it's so, you know, it feels that it's in this world, because it is in this world. And you know, I think the fact that William Peter Blatty came to direct it and wrote the book before, you know, I think that helped tons for this movie to be actually good. This movie should actually be The Exorcist 2, but you know, the other one came out, and well, I guess that's why they called it Legion a couple of years later. But that is my review for today. As I said, I really hope you understood what I was trying to say, and I hope this is encouraging you to watch the movie. As always, give me a like to the channel, subscribe, because that's gonna help us, you know, to continue to grow. I really hope everyone is okay. I guess we'll see each other until next video. So everyone take care, and you know, goodbye.